I call up my buddy. I'm a private pilot. I fly for fun. My buddy's a private pilot also. He was at the time very active in flying. I said, hey, you got somewhere to go this weekend? He says, no, I got a trip for you. Let's go to Naples.
And welcome back this week. This is season 7, episode 4. I am Renzo Rossato.
And I'm Gaston Rossato.
If you're new to the channel, guys, we have hundreds of videos reviewing some of the baddest cars in the world. So if this is the first time seeing us, make sure after this video to go check out the channel. Today, we're gonna do some storytelling, right? This episode came from the questions that we always get from clients and friends. The two biggest questions we always get: how do you source your cars? Which car do you regret letting go of? I think that list is probably too long to go in this video, so we're gonna focus on one specific story that touches both those subjects. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and let's get it going.
So you're right, Renzo. We can't go through every single scenario on how cars come to be here at the barn, but being those two very common questions, there's always this one story that just comes to mind. Plus, there's another element to this story that it forced me to learn and helped us grow. So let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. There's a family member who has a motorcycle and asked me, hey, would you do me the favor and selling this motorcycle for me? Let's put this in time perspective. This was very early in the barn. I'm very focused on buying, trying to buy particular cars, and we have to maximize everything, right?
Yeah, we're focusing on really having the inventory
curated, right?
Curated.
And all of a sudden, he wants me to sell this motorcycle. You don't really have a platform to be selling motorcycles. Plus, it's family, so you have to do it for a favor. So basically, what was happening here, all my time had to be invested in, photographing this car, putting it up on the website,
motorcycle.
dealing with motorcycle, dealing with leads, and so on and so forth. Well, I figured the fastest way to do this was post a bike on eBay. Sure enough, someone ends up buying the motorcycle from Naples. So that's just an hour and a half away from here on the west coast of Florida. The gentleman rents a U-Haul, comes over to the barn to pick up the motorcycle. As soon as he walks into the barn, he says, oh wow, I didn't realize you guys sold cars. He didn't understand where he was coming. He didn't do any research. He just saw the bike, he liked it, he bought it, and shows up to the office. He says, well, for 30 years, I've had a 1979 Porsche 930.
Those words right there is like,
I said, oh, cool. He goes, yeah, I considered selling it one time, a long time ago. I placed an ad, and this was years ago, he said, but I couldn't get any traction, and I don't really use the car. It's just kind of sitting there.
but to hear that, right?
I was like, well,
a special car and long-term ownership, you're like, okay, this can't get any better.
And this is 2016, so the Porsche market is hot.
Yes.
Trying to find these cars is difficult, and lo and behold, this guy just shows up to my office saying he has this car, and I told him, absolutely, I'd be more than interested in seeing the car. When can we see it? I think this was like a Thursday, Friday.
Right.
I didn't want to waste time on something like this. We got to move quickly. So I call up my buddy. I'm a private pilot. I fly for fun. My buddy's a private pilot also. He was at the time very active in flying. I said, hey, you got somewhere to go this weekend? He says, no, I got a trip for you. Let's go to Naples. So we rented an airplane. We flew to Naples. I called the guy up, hey, pick me up at the airport. It's only just a few blocks away from here. It's a small town. We go there, sure enough, black, beautiful 930 with red guts.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, because he already gave me an idea of the price,
Right.
which was just too good to be true. And usually, experience has told us if it's too good to be true, that's typically the case, right?
Yeah.
So I'm walking around the car. It's not a perfect car. It's a driver's car. There's no doubt about that. But just given the price that he gave me, I said, something's wrong. It's got to be a salvage title. Probably don't have a title.
So how much lower was the price in the standard market at the time? Was it a 20% less,
Well,
30% less price?
I want to do that. It was significant. How about that?
Enough for you to question it.
Enough for me to jump on an airplane the following day and go see it immediately, right? So the car didn't even start. The battery was dead. We put a jumper on it. It was so dead, not even the jumper could get it started.
Yeah,
So I said, okay, that's not going to work. I told him, I'll buy the car. The car is mine. I went with the check already ready. I couldn't negotiate the price. I felt bad negotiating the price. It was already a steal, okay? And the car didn't have the original wheels on them. It had some BBS turbo wheels from a later model car.
Yeah.
Luckily, he had the original Fuchs sitting right there. And he goes, I'll include these for you in the deal. He told me that after the fact, even after I agreed to the car. So I was very surprised to learn after the fact that the car did in fact have the original wheels. You know, they were the black center with the stainless lip, you know, absolute classic.
Right.
So after close inspection, the car was in fact a real car. He had a clean title, like he said, 30 years in his name. I looked at the engine block, although we couldn't confirm 100% if it's matching number because you need a certificate of authenticity to do that. There is certain numbers in that engine block that tell you the year of the engine, and it was a 79, so it had a 99% chance of being a matching numbers car. It really was too good. So we committed to the sale. 2 days later, I rented a U-Haul. We drove to Naples, picked up the car, brought it back to the barn. So the moral of the story is, you never know where a car is going to come from. From now on, every time family says, hey, can you do this for me? I'm more than happy, because I learned a lesson. And the lesson is, don't discard anything as an opportunity.
Exactly.
Because you never know. Every vehicle is going to lead you to somebody new.
Exactly.
Right? Every car in here, every motorcycle, every deal that we do is going to lead us to someone new, and you don't know who that is and what opportunities they bring.
It's very true.
And that was lesson number one. Thankfully, it happened very, very early on into the career of the barn, and I apply it now to absolutely everything. I say yes, yes. I'm like the yes man.
So it's always nice to see how, when you start connecting the dots of certain deals or certain cars that come through the door here at the Barn Miami, and you start connecting the dots to where it truly originated from, it really surprises you to know.
The evolution is insane.
You start to understand that, you know, that saying, that it's not about what you know, but who you know, and it's just creating that network. And it's incredible. The amount of stories we have. Obviously, we're focusing on the 79 930 turbo.
Exactly.
But there's so many more stories like that.
And what happened is, we go back now to question number two, right?
Right.
What car do you regret selling? Well, having a 1979 930 at such a great price,
Yeah.
that's never going to happen to me again. That's the fact. So I probably should have kept that car, but granted,
For a
very
little
early. I don't have the kind of funds to hold on and keep the car. But a 79 930 is very, very, very sought after for US, because that's the last year of the US car before it goes into basically non-production for the US and returns in 1986. So
Right.
79s are very coveted and 89s are very coveted. I miss that car every day. But the guy that bought it was from Denmark. So we sold that thing in less than 30 days. His friend got so excited, looked on our website, we had a 912, which is also a great
Right.
story in how we found that car.
Right.
And so that one car generated 2 sales. And not only that, excellent people that became wonderful friends. We follow each other on Instagram. We're always contacting each other, always, exchanging feedback and whatnot. So it turned out an awesome lead, a great sale, a new friend.
Yeah. Another sale on top of that.
Another sale that generated on top of that. So it was absolutely everything that we could have asked for. And that's the beauty of this. And every car has a story like that.
And I think what's great about this story, one, it gives you an insight of our business and what we do day in and day out and how some of these cars come to be. But this example here goes to show everybody who's watching, doesn't matter what business you're in, you can never let these kind of opportunities pass. You might say, man, do I really want to help this person out? Like, I have to, this is family or a friend of mine, but you never know what that opportunity brings you in the future.
And we want to share more of these stories with you guys. Our channel has always been a little bit more about reviewing some of our inventory, reviewing some guest cars or special cars that we've had on the channel. We've always talked about diversifying the channel a little bit, a little more storytelling, answering some of these questions that we get typically. It was such a great time to start. Our camera guy, Sergio, broke his hand. It becomes a little difficult to hang out of a car at 40 miles an hour getting rollers. So, You know what? Again, an opportunity.
We're adapting here.
If you guys want to hear more of these stories, just let us know.
Exactly.
If we get enough feedback, we'll certainly, think of more examples. It's been several years now. We have a lot of stories. So
exactly.
In the meantime, guys, as Renzo mentioned, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on all our different social platforms. Links down below. I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Renzo Rossato. You guys gotta hit subscribe as well. We'll see you next week. Peace.